Apart from Gordon Allport, one of the prominent trait psychologists is Raymond Cattell. Gordon Allport created a list of 18,000 words and filtered it to about 4,500 traits. Raymond Cattell further eliminated and removed uncommon traits from the list of Gordon Allport, and he combined the common words or common traits. With this technique, Raymond Cattell reduced down the list of traits to 171 words. I think you already know what is a trait and what the trait theories are all about. No? Those who don't know, let me explain for them. A trait is a personality characteristic, a building block of someone's personality. A trait can be defined as a relatively stable characteristic that causes individuals behave in certain ways. The trait should meet 3 criteria. It must be consistent. What consistent means here is like, suppose someone is honest. Honesty is his trait, but if he is consistently honest, honesty is his trait only if he is consistently honest in different situations. Honest at home, honest at work, honest in money matters, and honest in relationships, etc. The trait should be stable. What that means, traits are considered stable in the personality of people over time. If the traits are not changeable, for example, at an age of 30, if someone is talkative and extroverted, they will be talkative and extroverted at an age of 40. The third criteria is that the traits are vary from person to person. One person may be intelligent, at the same time another person might not be so intelligent. So there should be a variation, which means that traits are not those qualities that every person has in common. They vary person to person. The trait approach or trait theories of personality is one of the major theoretical areas in the study of personality. Trait theory suggests that individual personalities are composed of broad dispositions and that the personality can be studied by dividing it into different traits. Alright, so we were talking about Raymond Cattell. Raymond Cattell reduced down the list of traits to 171 words. And then Cattell gathered a large sample of individuals. He rated the sample of individuals for these 171 different traits. He used a statistical technique known as factor analysis. And then he identified closely related terms. And eventually, he reduced his list of 171 traits to 16 key personality traits. According to Cattell, these 16 traits are the source of all human personalities. Cattell developed one of the most widely used personality assessment tests, the 16 personality factor personality test, or the 16 personality factor questionnaire. According to Cattell, there is a continuum of personality traits. In other words, each person contains all of these traits to a certain degree, but they might be high in some traits and low in others. Now, I will give you a simple and detailed explanation on how to understand the 16 PF traits and how to make an assessment of someone's personality using 16 PF personality assessment test. Watch this video.
This picture represents a whole personality of a person. According to the trait theorists, the personality is made of a lot of traits. Now, because traits are thousands in number and it was very hard to make assessment of these many traits, Raymond Cattell reduced them to 16 broad factors of traits. He says that all the other traits are already inclusive into these 16 traits, and that all and any personality types have all these 16 traits. In other words, the personality of anyone is made of these 16 traits. Only difference is that some people have high degrees of the traits and some people have low degrees of the traits. Let me give a simple explanation of each of the 16 traits. For example, take the trait number 1, abstractedness. This trait has to continue. Practical versus imaginative. Abstractedness is an assessment of how imaginative you are. Low scorers are practical, grounded, solution-oriented, steady and conventional. High scorers are imaginative, abstract thinkers, absent-minded, impractical and absorbed in ideas. No to apprehension. The two continuums are confident versus worried. Apprehension is a measurement of how troubled you are. Low scorers are confident, self-assured, unworried, complacent, secure, free of guilt, and self-satisfied people. High scorers are worried, apprehensive, self-doubting, guilt-prone, insecure, anxious, and self-blaming people. No 3 dominance. This is submissive versus dominant. Dominance is an assessment of how assertive you are when dealing with people. Low scorers are submissive, deferential, cooperative, avoids conflict, humble, obedient, easily led, and they are accommodating. High scorers are dominant, forceful, assertive, aggressive, competitive, stubborn, and they are bossy people. No 4 emotional stability. Emotionally unstable versus emotionally stable. Emotional stability is a scale of how in control of your emotions you are. Low scorers are emotionally reactive, changeable, affected by feelings, emotionally less stable, and they are easily upset. High scorers are emotionally stable, adaptive, mature, and they can face reality calmly. Number 5, liveliness. Spontaneous versus restrained. Liveliness is how much energy you display. Low scorers are spontaneous, lively, animated, enthusiastic, happy-go-lucky, cheerful, expressive, and impulsive people. High scorers are restrained, serious, prudent, introspective, and they are usually silent. Number 6, openness to change. Conservative versus flexible. Openness to change is a quantum of how not stuck in your ways you are. Low scorers are conservative, traditional, attached to familiar, and they respect traditional ideas. High scorers are flexible, open to change, experimental, liberal, analytical, critical, and they are free-thinking people. Number 7, perfectionism. Undisciplined versus control. Perfectionism is a measure of how high your standards are for yourself. Low scorers tolerate disorder, are unexacting, undisciplined, self-conflict, impulsive, careless of social rules, and uncontrolled. High scorers are perfectionist, organized, compulsive, self-disciplined, socially precise, exacting willpower, control, and self-sentimental. Number 8, privateness. It is measured on a continuum of open versus discreet. Privateness is an assessment of how honest you are about who you are. Low scorers are forthright, genuine, open, naive, unpretending, and involved. High scorers are discreet, non-disclosing, polished, worldly, astute, and diplomatic people. Number 9, reasoning. Concrete versus abstract. Reasoning is a measurement of how good at abstract thinking you are. Low scorers prefer concrete thinking. Concrete thinkers see a physical object and just think of what's in front of them. They may see their surroundings, but not think of what is beyond their viewpoint. High scorers prefer abstract thinking. Abstract thinking is the ability to consider concepts beyond what we observe physically. It involves recognizing patterns, analyzing ideas, synthesizing information, solving problems, and creating things. Number 10, rule consciousness. Non-conforming versus conforming. Rule consciousness is how much you abide by authority. Low scorers are non-conforming, self-indulgent, and disregard rules. High scorers are rule-conscious, dutiful, conforming, moralistic, and rule-bound. Number 11. Self-reliance. Dependent versus self-sufficient. Self-reliance is how contained your needs are. Low scorers are group-oriented and affiliative, tend to depend on others and take help of others. High scorers are self-reliant, solitary, resourceful, individualistic, and self-sufficient. Number 12. Sensitivity. Unsentimental versus sentimental. Sensitivity is how much you can be affected by other stimulations. Low scorers are unsentimental, utilitarian, objective, tough-minded, self-reliant, they don't mind what others are talking about them. High scorers are sentimental, sensitive, tender-minded, intuitive, and they tend to mind everything. Number 13. Social boldness. Shy versus bold. Social boldness is how socially confident you are. Low scorers are shy, threat-sensitive, hesitant, and intimidated people. High scorers are socially bold, thick-skinned, and uninhibited people. Number 14. Tension. Relaxed versus impatient. Tension is how relaxed you are, crossed with impatience. Low scorers are relaxed, placid, tranquil, torpid, patient, and they composed low drive. High scorers are tense, high energy, impatient, driven, frustrated, overwrought, and they are time-driven. Number 15. Vigilance. Trusting versus suspicious. This is a measure of vigilance. Low scorers are trusting, unsuspecting, accepting, unconditional, and they are easy people. High scorers are vigilant, suspicious, skeptical, distrustful, and they are oppositional people. And finally, the number 16. Warmth. The two continuum of warmth are reserved versus outgoing. Warmth is how nice to people you are. Low scorers are impersonal, distant, reserved, detached, and they are formal. High scorers are outgoing, attentive to others, kindly, easygoing, participating, and they like people.
Raymond Cattell's 16PF questionnaire is widely used for the purpose of personality assessment. The most famous MBTI and Big 5 factor personality assessment tests are all inspired by Raymond Cattell's 16PF factor test. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.